Today I'll be discussing barm and stuffing. Thanks for joining us today on Exploring the 18th Century with James Townsend and Son. I want to thank everyone for all your great questions and your wonderful comments. They are very much appreciated. In the bread stuffing video, Gregor Davidson asks, are you aware that you called it bread pudding, not stuffing, when you took it out of the oven? Well, yes, I called it a bread pudding because sometimes in the 18th century, something like that would have been called a pudding. Puddings in the 18th century was a very broad term. It could mean kind of a hodgepodge of things you put together and bake it in a dish. Sometimes it was a specific food that you boiled in a bag, but anything that you sort of cooked into a coalesced mixture like that was called a pudding. So that's why I called it a pudding. On the No Knead French Bread video, Ego Raffles asks, he says, why did you use water instead of ale for your substitute barm? Well, we were making there a substitute barm. In the 18th century, they would have used real barm, which is a product they would have gotten from the brewer, either the kreuzen from the top of beer that was being brewed, or the yeast from the very bottom of the barrel. They would sell that as a liquid product in a bottle, or you would take your bottle to the brewer and say, give me fill this up with barm for me. We don't have access to that these days, so we were making a substitute barm using a modern yeast, and you can use an ale if you need a little bit of that ale flavor, or water works just as well. On the topic of leavening, we've been doing a lot of research, and we're preparing a series of videos right now that really expands this whole topic of barm and leavening in general, so make sure to stay tuned. So Jay Rappin 71 asks in the bread stuffing video, he says, do you have a cookbook for all the different recipes you make? Well, no, we don't have a cookbook. There are so many great cookbooks out there for 18th century. True reprints of 18th century cookbooks. There's a lot of sort of collections of 18th century recipes that are put together. And, while we're actually working on one, in fact, if you want a James Townsend and Son cookbook, you're going to have to bug Kevin for that. He's working on one, but, it's hard to do while we're doing all these cooking videos. Anyway, so keep bugging us. Maybe we'll have a cookbook very soon. Oh yeah, one last little thing. The calendars are out, and we've gotten so much positive response and comments on that we cannot respond to it all. Thank you so much. For you viewers right here in the States, I hope everyone here has a happy Thanksgiving. If you've got questions, whether it's related to our 18th century cooking series, the 18th century in general, to James Townsend and Son and our products, any of those kinds of questions, I would love to hear. Make sure to give us your questions in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can see our website and request a print catalog. I want to thank you for joining us today as we explore the 18th century.